Wandering Jeepsy is a YouTube channel that follows the adventures of a solo female traveler living full-time in her Jeep Wrangler, along with her small dog. The channel gives a close-up look at life on the road, exploring the beautiful landscapes of the US. In this video, she takes an overnight trip to southern Utah, camping on Bureau Land Management land. The area is stunning, peaceful, wide open, and completely free to camp on. But while the trip starts off as a serene getaway, things take a turn when some unexpected and unsettling events unfold, showing the reality of camping alone in remote locations. She arrives at a breathtaking spot, surrounded by unique rock formations, with no other people around, both a blessing and a bit unnerving. After parking her Jeep, which she's modified into a cozy tiny home on wheels, she walks around to check the area for safety. She looks for signs of wildlife, human activity, or anything that might be a red flag. The one thing she finds: a bunch of cow droppings, a sign that she is in a free-range area where livestock roam freely. No cows in sight, but the evidence is there. Once she feels confident that the area is safe, she starts setting up camp. She gives a tour of her Jeep's interior, which she's customized to be both comfortable and practical. It has a bed, storage space, and even a heating system. She also makes small adjustments for her dog, setting up a cozy sleeping spot for him. Even in such a compact space, she's managed to create a setup that feels like home. As the sun sets, she turns on her heater and reflects on the freedom and connection to nature that comes with her lifestyle. But she's also honest about the challenges, especially as a woman camping alone in secluded places. Dinner time rolls around, and she shares her simple yet efficient cooking setup. The wilderness is peaceful, but the silence can be both soothing and a little eerie. And then, just as she's settling in, something strange happens. A red truck pulls up at the end of the dirt road near her campsite. At first, she figures the driver has just lost her turning around, but the truck just sits there, idling for way too long. That's when the unease kicks in. She starts recording on her phone, making sure the driver knows she's aware of their presence. She moves closer to her Jeep, ready to grab her pepper spray and other self-defense tools if needed. Eventually, the truck starts moving, but as it passes, she notices the driver staring at her through the open window, wearing a mask. That's when it really hits her. This person might have had bad intentions, not knowing that a stranger not only saw her alone, but also knows exactly where she's camped. She's faced with a tough decision: stay and risk them coming back, or pack up and leave even though it's late. She decides to go. Safety comes first, even if it means giving up an amazing campsite. As she drives away, she reflects on past experiences, like a similarly creepy incident in Mount Charleston. No matter how prepared she is, there are still risks that come with solo travel. Her honest take on these situations highlights the unique challenges female travelers face, from unwanted attention to the constant need to balance independence with caution. Despite the unsettling turn of events, the video captures both the beauty and the reality of solo camping. Her detailed preparation, Jeep setup, and storytelling make for an engaging watch, one that gives a real look into life on the road, the highs and the unexpected lows. The creator J-Bear is all about venturing into wild places, pushing past comfort zones, and embracing the freedom of solo camping. On November 28, 2024, he sets out for a truck camping trip at a remote and eerie location, one that has a history of unsettling events. In fact, on a previous visit, he had a terrifying night filled with growling noises and mysterious damage to his camping gear. Determined to face his fears, he returns to the same spot to document his experience, balancing his love for adventure with the harsh reality of camping in a place with a creepy past. J-Bear kicks things off by recalling what happened the last time he camped there. That night, he was so shaken by the strange growling outside his tent that he packed up and left before dawn. When he returned later to retrieve his gear, his tent was shredded and someone or something had placed a cinder block on top of it. definitely not normal. This time he's come in better prepared, with his truck as his new camping setup. He's determined to stay the night and see if anything weird happens again. The forecast is calling for freezing temperatures, dipping into the mid-30s, adding another challenge to an already unsettling trip. After parking, he sets up camp, making sure his sleeping space inside the truck is warm and comfortable. He's got multiple blankets, a wool wrap, snacks, water, and all the essentials, including a flashlight, a knife, and a night vision camera. Before settling in, he builds a fire, though the rain-soaked ground makes it tough to find dry wood. After some effort and some pre-packed firewood, he finally gets the flames going, appreciating the warmth even as the flickering light makes the surrounding darkness feel even creepier. As he cooks dinner over the fire, the silence of the woods starts getting to him. He hears rustling leaves, snapping twigs, and the occasional unidentifiable sound. Then something catches his eye. Brief flashes of light in the distance.
Is that ours? What was that? Where's my flash? Look at my eyes.
At first, he brushes them off as reflections from his fire, but they keep happening. That's when he starts to feel real unease. Determined to figure out what's going on, he grabs his flashlight and does a perimeter check. He mentions that this area near Berlin Lake, Ohio, is known for Bigfoot sightings. Matt Moneymaker from Finding Bigfoot even had his first encounter here. As he walks around, memories of his last experience flood back. The torn up tent, the eerie energy of the place. Returning to his truck, he locks the doors, hoping to shake the uneasy feeling. But then, he hears something that makes his blood run cold. A faint voice, as if someone's saying, hello. It only happens once, but it's enough to rattle him. He doesn't go outside to investigate. Instead, he keeps the doors locked, relying on his night vision camera to keep watch. As the night drags on, he struggles to relax. More faint noises, more unease. Around 1:30 a.m., he wakes up feeling tense, but he stays put, unwilling to risk stepping outside. He reviews some of the night vision footage, trying to make sense of it all. Eventually, the strange sounds seem to die down, and he's finally able to get some light, restless sleep. At dawn, he wakes up physically drained, but relieved the night is over. But when he checks his night vision footage, he sees something chilling. Someone had been flashing a light towards his truck and even trying to get inside. He never heard a thing while it was happening, which makes it even more disturbing. If they had managed to get in, things could have gone very, very wrong. Reflecting on the night, Jay Bear acknowledges that while solo camping in remote locations is thrilling, it also comes with real risks. He's grateful to have made it through safely, but there's no denying that his experience left him shaken. The strange lights, the unexplained noises, the eerie voice, it all reinforces his feeling that something isn't quite right about this place. Man Dog Wild is a YouTube channel that follows a guy and his dog, Yeti, as they take on the wilderness together. The channel features all sort of outdoor adventures, hiking, camping, survival skills, all while showcasing the strong bond between him and his four-legged companion. In this particular video, he heads out for a solo overnight camping trip with Yeti in a peaceful stretch of woodland. At first, everything seems calm and relaxing, but as the night goes on, things start getting weird. Yeti starts acting strange, and some eerie unexplained moments make the camper question whether they're truly alone out there. He arrives at the campsite excited for a quiet night in nature. The weather is mild, so he's rocking shorts, enjoying the shade of the trees. After scouting the area, he picks a flat spot to set up his poncho shelter. Yeti, usually eager to explore, seems hesitant. She's fixated on certain directions and refuses to lead like she normally does. He notices but brushes it off as just dog instincts kicking in. Once camp is set up, he settles in with a cup of coffee, sharing some camping wisdom with his viewers, like how breaking in boots properly can save you a lot of pain on hikes. It's a chill moment, but Yeti's continued unease lingers in the background, adding a quiet tension. Wanting to stretch their legs, they take a walk around the area. He points out juniper trees, not a fan of the berries, by the way, snail shells, and signs of wildlife. But then, out of nowhere, Yeti barks and bolts towards something unseen. He follows but doesn't find anything.
She insists that we go and check out this area. Well, Yeti, I don't see much to be shouting about, huh? Why aren't you going in front? You're always in front. Strange. She's always darting off ahead. But today she doesn't want to.
Back at camp, things take a turn. As he preps dinner, Yeti keeps staring into the dark, occasionally growling at something. Then suddenly she jumps up and moves towards the trees, growling low. He scans the area with his flashlight but sees nothing. At this point, he admits Yeti is freaking him out. Night falls and the eerie vibes only intensify. Yeti barks and growls on and off, clearly reacting to something just outside their sight. He tries to calm her, but her behavior is making him paranoid. Maybe she smells something. Maybe she hears something he can't. But whatever it is, she's locked in on it. He eventually crawls into the shelter with Yeti, skipping his inflatable sleeping pad in case the rough ground punctures it. Normally, Yeti curls up and sleeps soundly on trips like this, but not tonight. She keeps disappearing into the dark, returning only to growl at the same unseen threat. It's enough to keep him on edge all night. By morning, he's exhausted but relieved. Yeti's growling and barking had kept him awake, but at least the night was over. As he packs up, he notices something that stops him in his tracks. Fresh footprints near the campsite. It wasn't there when he arrived, and it definitely wasn't his.
It's my track. This is not my track. See the different treads. Is there better ones? Look at this. See? That's not my tread. And that's Fred.
The tracks came from the woods and led straight toward his camp before fading into tougher terrain. Suddenly, everything clicks. Yeti wasn't just being weird for no reason. Someone, or something, was out there last night, creeping around his camp. He tries to rationalize it, maybe a hunter, but it's not hunting season. And if it was a person, why didn't they have a flashlight? Why were they walking straight toward his camp? Before heading out, he reflects on the whole experience. One thing's for sure, when your dog is acting off, pay attention. Yeti knows something was wrong long before he did, and if she hadn't been on alert, he might have never noticed those tracks at all. And with that, he and Yeti pack up and leave the woods behind. A little rattled, but a lot more aware of just how unpredictable nature and the unknown can be. Tucker Upper is a YouTube channel that follows the everyday adventures of a New Jersey family, Tuck, Sammy J, and their baby, Finley Magic, as they take life at their own pace and make the most of every day. On October 19, 2023, the channel uploaded one of their most shocking videos. What started as a simple outdoor outing quickly turned into something much bigger. Tuck originally planned to test out a new underwater scooter in a lake tucked away in the Pine Barrens. The lake with its crystal clear waters held a nostalgic charm for him, making it the perfect spot for a casual day day of exploration. At first, everything went as expected. He got some amazing underwater footage, and the serene setting made for a peaceful escape from everyday life. But then something caught his eye, a metallic glint beneath the surface. Curious, he swam closer and realized it was a car, completely submerged. At first, he was confused, but as he got a better look, the sight became downright eerie.
But there's a car right there. Unbelievable. I'm just wondering, like, why else would you dump a car in a lake unless it was connected to some kind of criminal act? And why would you leave your license plate? How could you be so stupid to leave your license plate on the car? I wonder if I should just, like... No, you guys can see it. It's not really that, Bro, this is crazy.
The trunk was wide open, the license plate was still attached, and the entire vehicle was covered in sediment and aquatic growth. The discovery raised all kinds of questions. How did it get here? Was it an accident, a crime? And why would someone dump a car in a lake without even removing the plates? Back home, Tuck reviewed the footage with his wife, who immediately urged him to report it. At first, he hesitated, not wanting to waste the police's time, but ultimately, he decided it was the right thing to do. He called the local police and gave them all the details, where he found the car, what condition it was in, and the fact that the license plates were still visible. To his surprise, authorities responded fast. A full team, including police officers, firefighters, divers, and environmental specialists, was sent to investigate. What Tuck thought might be a minor report quickly turned into a major operation. The dive team carefully inspected the car, making sure they could pull it out without damaging the lake's ecosystem. Once everything was secured, a crane lifted the car from the water. It was a surreal sight. Water poured from the vehicle as it surfaced, revealing heavy damage and years of aquatic buildup. Then came the biggest twist. Authorities confirmed that the car had been reported stolen years ago in a nearby town. It was most likely dumped in the lake to get rid of evidence after a theft. This revelation only deepened the mystery. Who stole the car? Why was it left in this particular spot? And had anyone ever been caught? Aside from the crime aspect, Tuck also realized the environmental impact of what he had found. As the car was lifted, oil and other pollutants leaked into the water. The on-site environmental specialists worked to contain the contamination, and Tuck reflected on how his random day of testing out a gadget ended up helping prevent further harm to the lake. When he uploaded the video, it quickly went viral. Viewers were a mix of shocked, fascinated, and thankful that he reported it. Some speculated about the backstory of the stolen car, while others praised him for taking action. The video sparked conversations about environmental responsibility and the unexpected impact everyday people can have on their communities. For Tuck, the whole experience was humbling. His usual content is lighthearted and fun, but this adventure reminded him how unpredictable exploration can be. He wrapped up the video by revisiting the lake, now free of the car, and reflecting on everything that happened. He thanked the authorities for their quick response, his audience for their support, and encouraged everyone to stay curious and pay attention to their surroundings, because you never know what you might stumble upon. KS Blog is a YouTube channel that offers a mix of travel vlogs, tech reviews, and lifestyle insights. Whether you're looking for new destinations to explore, the latest gadgets, or just some life advice, KS Blog delivers content that's both entertaining and informative. In this particular video, the YouTuber embarks on a solo overnight adventure in a micro camper van, set against the stunning backdrop of the North Shropshire Hills in the UK. The video captures everything from setting up camp and exploring scenic trails to an eerie, unexpected moment in the middle of the night. The journey starts with the camper explaining that this trip is a much-needed escape. Due to health issues, he hasn't been able to use his van in a while. The drive, though overcast, is scenic, and his first stop is Carding Mill Valley, a National Trust site surrounded by rolling hills and a charming stream. He reminisces about a previous hike to a nearby waterfall, which he hopes to revisit if time allows. However, since overnight camping isn't allowed in the National Trust car park, he decides to explore the area briefly before heading to a more suitable spot. After enjoying a quick coffee in his van, he takes a short walk around Carding Mill Valley. He highlights its family-friendly features, such as the shallow stream, perfect for picnics, and well-marked trails leading to various hiking spots. The peaceful sound of flowing water adds to the relaxing atmosphere before he moves on to his intended camping location, a higher, more secluded spot just 10 minutes away. The drive up is steep but rewarding, as it opens up to breathtaking panoramic views of the countryside. Upon arrival, he settles into his compact yet well-equipped camper van. It's custom built to fit his camping needs, with a bed, a small cooking area, and ample storage, all packed into a vehicle small enough to park in remote locations. He explains how the van's design allows for spontaneous adventures while still providing all the essentials for an overnight stay. Before dinner, he pushes himself to take a short walk despite his ongoing spinal condition. The incline is tough, but the view from the ridge is worth it. He catches a stunning sunset over the valley before heading back to the van. For dinner, he prepares a simple yet satisfying meal of tuna pasta and reflects on the joy of camping. The chance to unplug from daily stress and just enjoy nature is something he deeply appreciates. As the night falls, he sets up his sleeping area, watches a show on his tablet, and enjoys the peaceful solitude. The temperature drops, but the van's snug design keeps him warm. Then at around 2 a.m., something jolts him awake, a strange sensation. Something is pushing against the side of his van. Initially groggy and confused, he listens carefully, trying to figure out what's happening.
And about 10 minutes ago, it was really weird. Something woke me up, and it was pushing against the side of the car, and like knocking into it. It happened for a few minutes, so it woke me up, and it was really weird. I thought, you always think as being car camping, camper van, whatever, it's kids. Because two other camper vans, there's 4x4, big one next to me, and a Sprinter, I think, near the other side. But basically, you can hear now. I don't know if you can hear this.
The gentle yet persistent knocking continues for a few minutes, making him wonder if it's someone messing with him. His mind jumps to the fact that there are two other camper vans parked nearby, one a large 4x4 and the other a Sprinter. Could it just be pranksters? As he listens, he hears faint shuffling sounds outside. Given the region's free-roaming livestock, he suspects it might be sheep or horses brushing up against the van. But in the pitch-black darkness, with no exterior lighting, he decides it's best not to investigate. He unlocks the doors and waits. The noises stop, then return twice more before dawn. By morning, the eerie nighttime encounter is still fresh in his mind, but with daylight comes a sense of reassurance. After a quick breakfast, he packs up and begins to drive home, reflecting on the unpredictability of solo camping. Whether it was just curious wildlife or something more unsettling, the experience serves as a reminder that nature, while peaceful, always has its surprises. This video blends serene landscapes, practical camping tips, and a touch of unexpected suspense, making it a compelling watch for anyone interested in van life and off-grid adventures. Adventures with Wes is a YouTube channel dedicated to the thrill of off-road adventures and vehicle modifications. The creator, Wes, shares his experiences exploring rugged terrains, offering viewers exciting content that blends the adrenaline rush of off-roading with the technical side of vehicle customization. But about 4 years ago, Wes and his team, joined by Andy, documented something far more chilling. What started as a routine urban exploration turned into a harrowing experience when they stumbled upon something they were never meant to find. The video begins with Wes and Andy introducing their latest adventure, exploring a long-abandoned pipe tunnel rumored to be both dangerous and mysterious. Local legends paint an eerie picture, with stories of strange occurrences surrounding the tunnel. Andy recalls one particularly disturbing tale. Someone once emerged from the tunnel covered in blood. With a mix of curiosity and unease, the team presses on. The journey to the tunnel isn't easy. They navigate a steep, muddy slope overgrown with nettles, making the descent both uncomfortable and challenging. Despite the rough conditions, they remain in good spirits, joking about the rugged environment and their determination to uncover the tunnel's secrets. As they approach the entrance, an unsettling sign of trouble emerges. A foul stench in the air. The smell is overwhelming, described as a mix of rotting fish and decayed flesh. Swarms of flies buzz around the opening, further adding to the group's unease. Andy remarks that it feels like the kind of place where someone might have hidden something sinister. Despite their growing discomfort, Wes and Andy push forward, cautiously stepping into the tunnel. The ankle-deep water and slippery ground make each step treacherous. The laughter and lighthearted banter they shared earlier now feel forced, as the oppressive atmosphere weighs on them. Inside, the tunnel is bleak, dark, damp, and suffocating. The smell intensifies and the concentration of flies thickens in one particular area. Andy points out whatever is causing the stench is likely just ahead. As they press on, the tunnel's acoustics amplify their movements, making every sound echo ominously around them. Then they see it. Lying in the water is a large, tightly wrapped object. At first, they assume it's just debris, maybe some discarded trash. But as they get closer, a sickening realization sets in. It's a body.
Let me get the light on.
Whoa, man! Fucking hell, me puss in the wall! Oh, man! That stinks.
The sight is horrifying. The body is wrapped tightly, deliberately concealed. The already unbearable stench confirms that decomposition has set in. The flies, once just an annoyance, now seem to be an omen of the gruesome discovery. Shock quickly turns to fear. Wes and Andy instinctively back away, their minds racing. The fun of urban exploration has instantly transformed into something much darker, something real. Without hesitation, they decide to get out of the tunnel and report what they've found to the authorities. The return journey is tense. Every sound is amplified. The once challenging terrain now feels like an active threat, as if the tunnel itself is urging them to leave. Wes keeps the camera rolling, capturing the raw emotions of the moment. Once outside, Wes immediately calls the police, providing them with details of the body and the exact location. Andy, still visibly shaken, reflects on the surreal nature of what just happened. Moments ago, they were explorers. Now they are witnesses to a possible crime scene. As they wait for law enforcement to arrive, the team tries to process the situation. Andy can't shake the nauseating smell from his mind, the swarm of flies, the eerie silence before the discovery. It all feels like something out of a nightmare. Wes and Andy avoid speculation, but they acknowledge the obvious. Someone deliberately placed that body in the tunnel. The secluded location and sewer-like conditions made it an ideal place to hide evidence. The chilling local stories about this tunnel now seem to hold a grim truth. The video concludes with the team packing up their gear, still reeling from the nightmarish turn of events. Wes apologizes to his viewers, acknowledging that this wasn't the kind of content they expected. Andy, his nerves still raw, admits that while urban exploration often involves strange and unsettling places, nothing could have prepared him for this. As they drive away, one thing is clear: this is an experience they will never forget. On May 7, 2019, a YouTuber named It's Omega and his dog Max embarked on a chilling backpacking adventure inside New Zealand's longest abandoned train tunnel, a 1.4-kilometer stretch of darkness known as Spooner's Tunnel. Originally constructed over 15 months, the tunnel was never completed due to financial constraints. It was abandoned in 1955 before reopening in 2016 as a hiking and cycling trail. With its isolation, eerie past, and pitch-black depths, it became the perfect setting for Omega's daring challenge to camp overnight and document the experience. What began as a test of endurance quickly spiraled into something far more terrifying. With Max by his side, Omega parked his car and set off on a 10 to 15-minute hike through a dense forest leading to the tunnel's entrance. The surroundings were peaceful, yet the looming sense of isolation was undeniable. As he approached the tunnel, its gaping black maw swallowed the daylight behind him. His nerves started to kick in, but despite the uneasy feeling creeping in, he pressed on.
The nerves are really starting to kick in now. What? I want to be spending a night in this thing. Oh no. I don't know about this guy. What the frick?
Inside, his flashlight illuminated the damp, glistening walls and gravel-covered tracks stretching endlessly into the abyss. The air was thick with moisture, and the silence was suffocating, broken only by the echo of Omega's footsteps and Max's soft panting. He ventured deeper, the darkness around him feeling almost alive. Finding a spot within the tunnel, he set up camp. arranging his gear and laying out his sleeping bag. The total darkness beyond his flashlight's reach felt as if something unseen lurked just beyond the edges of its glow. The weight of the place settled over him, a stillness so complete it made the act of simply existing within it unsettling.
Totally dark now. The sun's gone right down. There's no more light left. If I turn my light off, now this is the freaky thing. When I turn this light off, it is totally pitch black and silent. You ready? Here we go. Wow.
To pass the time, Omega heated up a simple meal, canned buttered chicken and an all-day breakfast pack. But as he ate, an unease began to creep over him. Faint and distinct noises echoed from deeper inside the tunnel. At first, he dismissed them as nothing more than tricks of his mind, natural sounds distorted by the tunnel's vast emptiness. But the longer he listened, the more real they became. Max, usually calm, began acting strangely. He stayed close to Omega, his ears perked, his body tense. Scanning the tunnel with his flashlight, Omega searched for the source of the sounds, but the light revealed nothing beyond the stone walls, slick with condensation. He couldn't shake the feeling that someone was watching. As the hours dragged on, his discomfort intensified. The tunnel's endless expanse seemed to amplify every sound, every shift in the air. Then around 2 a.m., curiosity got the better of him. If something was truly out there, he needed to know. Taking Max with him, he ventured deeper into the darkness. With each step, the oppressive silence became heavier. The farther they walked, the more the tunnel seemed to stretch endlessly in both directions. Then suddenly he heard it, a faint whisper, a distant echo of movement. It was impossible to tell from where. The tunnel's acoustics made it disorienting, as if the sound came from everywhere at once. Then the chilling sound of a toy playing a melody cut through the air. The tune, cheerful and out of place, sent a wave of dread through him. It echoed eerily through the tunnel, the high-pitched notes clashing with the suffocating darkness.
If you guys can hear this on the camera, but there's something. What is that? What the? Hello?
Panic surged as he frantically swung his flashlight around, searching for the source of the sound, but there was nothing, no one. The air felt electric with something unseen, something waiting. Then came the whispers again, the faint footsteps, the undeniable sensation of being watched. The fear clawed at his chest, pressing down as he tried to convince himself it was all in his head. But then his light caught something in the distance, a figure standing motionless, watching.
Is there somebody here? That's just creepy as... What the hell? Is anyone here? What is that? Oh! Hurry up! Max! Max! Get that on me!
A jolt of terror shot through him. Grabbing his gear in a frenzy, he called for Max to stay close, abandoning any thought of completing the challenge. He needed to leave, fast. As he rushed toward the tunnel's exit, the whispers seemed to follow, pressing in from all sides. His mind raced. Was this an elaborate prank, or was there something else lurking in the dark? Finally, he emerged into the open air, gulping down breath after breath, Max by his side, safe but shaken. The experience left him with more questions than answers. Was it truly paranormal? Was someone hiding in the tunnel, playing tricks? Or was it simply his mind, warped by fear and isolation? The unease in Max's behavior suggested something had been terribly wrong. Whatever the truth, one thing was certain: the darkness in Spooner's tunnel held more than just shadows. Sky, a YouTuber who runs the channel Swamp Valley, set out on what was supposed to be a fun backpacking trip with friends in a nearby woodland. The plan was simple: soak in the peaceful surroundings, enjoy the company, and just have a good time. But what started as a regular outdoor adventure quickly turned into something way more disturbing. Right from the start, something felt off. Sky couldn't quite put his finger on it, but that nagging sense of unease just wouldn't go away. It was like his instincts were trying to warn him about something before it even happened. Still, he pushed forward, hoping it was just his imagination messing with him. Then the realization hit: he was being followed.
Hey, I don't want to sound like a big pansy. This is really freaking me out. Somebody is actually following me, and it's freaky, man.
At first, he tried to brush it off, thinking maybe it was nothing, but every time he glanced over his shoulder, the same shadowy figure was there, watching, tracking his every step. The whole thing was beyond unsettling. It wasn't just about the possibility of someone lurking in the woods. It was a psychological weight in knowing he was being hunted in an isolated area, far from help. Sky knew he had to think fast. Instead of panicking, he decided to throw the stalker off, using quick thinking to mislead and lose him in a dense forest.
Do I just bloody call this?
For a brief moment, it actually worked. He felt a small sense of relief, a short-lived victory, but instead of just making a run for it, he did something unexpected. He turned the tables. Instead of fleeing, Sky made the bold decision to follow the stalker. Maybe it was curiosity, maybe it was adrenaline, but he wanted to figure out who this person was and what they wanted. But that choice would take things to a whole new, terrifying level. As Sky tracked the stalker, the situation went from unsettling to outright dangerous. What he saw next shattered any doubt about the man's intentions. Without warning, the stalker poured gasoline all over him and then came at him with a flaming stick. At that moment, the fear turned to sheer terror. This wasn't some prank or harmless scare. This was an attempt to seriously harm or even kill him.
Oh, Jesus! Fucking hell! Oh, fucking hell! The fuck! Jesus!
The attack was wild, unhinged, and completely unpredictable. Whether this was a premeditated assault or just some random act of violence, it was clear that Sky was in serious danger. Pure survival instincts kicked in. There was no time to think, only to react. The fight-or-flight response took over, and Sky barely managed to escape the horrifying encounter. But the whole thing left so many unanswered questions. Who was this stalker? Was it a random psycho? Or was there something more to it? Was this planned? Or did Sky just get unlucky by crossing paths with the wrong person? And if it was just some sick prank, then why take it so far? Fire and gasoline? That's not a joke. That's a straight-up murder attempt. Even though Sky survived, the experience would haunt him. The fear, the chase, and the near-fatal attack turned what should have been a fun trip into an absolute nightmare. And the scariest part? The motives behind it all may never be fully understood. The YouTuber known as The Abandoned Camper takes us on a suspenseful stealth camping adventure in one of her most daring videos. Driven by her love for exploring the unknown, she decides to set up camp near an abandoned cemetery. What begins as an intriguing exploration quickly turns into a tense and unsettling experience that forces her to cut the trip short. She explains her plan to stealth camp in the vicinity of the cemetery, a place that feels both intriguing and eerie. While part of the cemetery is still used for modern burials, another section has been left to fall into neglect, creating a haunting, deserted atmosphere. Despite the natural unease many feel around cemeteries, her curiosity pushed her to continue with a plan. After setting up her campsite in a discreet spot, she takes advantage of the daylight to explore the abandoned part of the cemetery.
Sounds like the birds are starting to hunker down for the night. There's fireflies around already. So, I think that means it's time to explore.
The surroundings are quiet, with fireflies starting to appear as night begins to fall. As she walks through the forgotten graves and crumbling structures, she remarks on how the place seems to exude an unsettling energy, one that's more apparent as the sun sets. Once darkness envelops the cemetery, the atmosphere changes. The quiet becomes even more intense, amplifying the sense of isolation. During her exploration, she suddenly hears a chilling scream echoing through the cemetery. It's a sound that feels both unnatural and alarming, breaking the silence in a way that unnerves her. The scream could have been from an animal, a person, or something else entirely, but it hints that she's not alone. As the darkness deepens, her unease grows stronger. The sound of the scream is followed by more unsettling signs. As she realizes that a group of people might be nearby, deliberately moving through the area. They don't have headlamps or visible sources of light, making their presence even more unnerving. She begins to wonder if they're using the abandoned cemetery for some sort of activity, perhaps pranks or partying.
And because there seems to be still a lot of stuff here. See? Hear them? I think they know I'm here. That's not good. Oh, I can see them. Maybe they're just walking through. Hopefully.
The situation becomes more tense as the group seems to be aware of her presence, and their behavior starts to feel more intrusive. Feeling increasingly threatened, she decided to return to her campsite for safety. But even as she settles back into her setup, a sense of being watched remains, and the proximity of the mysterious group makes it clear that the situation is escalating. Trying to regain some normalcy, she lights a fire and begins preparing her meal. The group's presence continues to unsettle her. Their movements grow closer, and to avoid drawing attention, she decides to put out the fire. In a candid moment, she admits how uncomfortable she feels being around people in the woods, especially in the dark.
I just had to put out the fire because there are people walking around back here. They don't have headlamps on, but like I said in my last video, I do not like being around people in the middle of the forest, especially when it's dark out. So I might pack up and get out of here.
The fire, once a source of warmth and comfort, is now a potential risk. Realizing that her safety is at risk, she makes the chilling decision to back up and leave. She does so quickly and efficiently, ensuring she leaves no trace of her presence, a key principle of stealth camping. The decision to cut the trip short, though disappointing, highlights an important lesson. Safety must come first. While the thrill of exploring abandoned places is part of the adventure, the unexpected presence of others with unknown intentions turned what should have been an exciting exploration into a potentially dangerous situation. The abandoned camper's quick thinking and adaptability in the face of uncertainty show the unpredictable nature of these adventures. Ultimately, her decision to leave early serves as a reminder that even experienced adventurers need to recognize when a situation has crossed the line from exciting to risky. This video tells a deeply unsettling and mysterious story that keeps viewers on edge from start to finish. The narrative focuses on a group of friends embarking on a seemingly typical backpacking trip through the forest, a setting usually associated with peace, nature, and tranquility. However, what begins as a routine hike quickly transforms into an experience that defies all logical explanation, plunging the group into terror. The tension builds as the friends, lost in their hike, hear an unusual noise coming from above them. Curiosity, and perhaps a creeping sense of unease, compels them to look up. What they see is something they could never have anticipated. A man suspended in the trees, swinging in a manner that suggests he's no longer in control of his own body. His movements are unnatural, erratic, and unsettling, creating an immediate sense that something is horribly wrong. This sight alone is enough to send chills down anyone's spine. But what happens next escalates the situation to something far more terrifying. Perched above the man, a creature appears, its predatory behavior adding a supernatural twist to the already disturbing scene.
Ay, ¿qué le está pasando? Mi Dios, y descanso mi alma. Solo él es mi esperanza. Lo está manejando, lo está manejando. Él es mi protector. Y no habré de caer. Dios es mi salvación y gloria. Es la roca que me fortalece. Está rezando Junior. Refugio está Dios. Confía siempre en Él, pueblo mío. Abre tu corazón cuando estés ante Él. Dios es nuestro refugio. Amén. Que nos donará y heredad, porque por eso, Madre, acudo a ti en tu ayuda para que tu amor hoy tenga. ¡Ay! Este no es Munra. Este no es Misael. Misa. Es Misa.
The eerie stillness of the forest is broken by the unnatural scene where the lines between human and monster blur. The relationship between the man and the creature remains a mystery. Is the creature controlling him, feeding on him, or is it something far darker and more incomprehensible? This ambiguity only deepens the dread, keeping the group and the audience on the edge of their seats. As the man slowly begins to descend from the tree, the sense of danger becomes more real and imminent. His deliberate movements make it clear that he's not simply retreating into the forest, but is coming closer to the hikers, possibly drawing them into whatever dark force has overtaken him. The atmosphere shifts further, turning from merely unsettling to downright depressive. The friends, gripped by terror, have no idea how to react. One of them, in a state of panic, begins to pray desperately, their voice trembling as they plead for safety. This raw emotional response adds a layer of authenticity to the video, making it feel as though we're witnessing real fear and helplessness in the face of the unknown. The authenticity of the footage itself is part of what makes this video so chilling. Allegedly found on the dark web, a platform known for hosting disturbing and sometimes unverifiable content, it adds a layer of mystery and intrigue to the video. The dark web is often associated with the kind of content that most people would prefer to avoid, leading to questions about whether this video is a genuine supernatural encounter or an elaborate hoax designed to provoke fear. The fact that the footage has been found in such a platform only adds to the sense that something dangerous, something beyond the normal world, might be lurking in the forest. Regardless of whether the footage is real or fabricated, it effectively draws the viewer into an intense experience. The unsettling visuals, combined with the raw emotional reactions of the friends, create a sense of unease that lingers long after the video ends. The unexplained events, paired with a eerily calm forest setting, work together to craft an experience that blurs the line between the real and the supernatural, leaving viewers grappling with the terrifying possibility that they may have witnessed something beyond human comprehension. The power of this video lies not just in its creepy imagery, but in its ability to provoke primal fear, the kind of terror that arises when confronted with something beyond explanation, something that taps into the most basic instincts of survival. The atmosphere, the eerie sounds, and the raw emotional reactions all contribute to an experience that is both chilling and hauntingly unforgettable. It forces the viewer to confront the unknown, making them question what could really be lurking out there, just beyond the edge of our understanding. This footage documents a captivating and eerie backpacking adventure to Devil's Lake, a location steeped in both natural beauty and a chilling reputation for paranormal activity. The narrator's journey unfolds over 2 days, blending the thrill of outdoor exploration with an unsettling sense of mystery. The adventure begins with the narrator preparing for the trip, shopping for essential camping gear, and airing out and inspecting their tent. After getting everything ready, they feel confident and eager to embark on the journey, which is set to last from Thursday to Friday. Upon arriving at Devil's Lake, they're immediately struck by the area's eerie beauty, acknowledging the location's rich history and its reputation for being haunted. The lake, once considered sacred by Native Americans, later took on the ominous name Devil's Lake due to its association with strange occurrences. The campground itself is vast and rugged, featuring rocky bluffs, dense forests, and winding trails. The narrator is aware of the reports of shadow figures, ghostly growls, and other paranormal phenomena in the area. Their unease heightens when they encounter a longtime visitor of the campground who shares unsettling stories of shadowy apparitions and strange sounds they've witnessed over the years. This encounter deepens the narrator's curiosity and anxiety about the haunted reputation of the site.
As part of the campground before, and some guy commented on my shirt and he asked if I was a ghost hunter. I'm like, so I explained to him that I have a YouTube channel and what I was here for, and as a matter of fact, the guy has been here. He's been coming here for 30 years in this very campground in this area that I'm in, because this place is huge. He said he's had experiences here throughout his whole 30 years, and that's why he comes here. So he actually went and subscribed to my channel as I was talking to him. He was on his phone and he subscribed to me. So thanks, man. I didn't catch your name, but thank you so much. He said there's a lot of shadow figures in the site that I'm at, or in this general area. People have experienced all sorts of things in here. Growls, yes, those could be animals, especially the shadow figures are a thing here, and that's what I'm going to be investigating tonight on site.
As the day progresses, the narrator sets off to explore the dense forest trails, which are challenging to navigate due to steep inclines and treacherous rocks. They describe a growing sense of being watched as the atmosphere around them becomes increasingly spooky. The forest's ambience shifts dramatically as darkness falls, with narrow trails winding through thick vegetation, leading to dramatic bluffs and cliffs. Along the way, the narrator encounters Native American hieroglyphs carved into the rocks, further adding to the mystique and spiritual significance of the location. The journey takes a chilling turn when the narrator attempts to reach Balanced Rock, a precariously perched boulder known for both its geological and spiritual significance. The climb to the rock is dangerous, requiring careful footing. As night falls, the forest grows even more unsettling, with unexplained noises, such as rocks falling in faint whispers, adding to the tension.
So over here I heard something. Could have been a rock that fell. What was that? I heard something over here walking before.
At one point, the narrator catches a glimpse of what appears to be glowing eyes in the darkness, an encounter that visibly shakes them. The dense forest seems to play tricks on their senses, with shifting shadows and eerie silences punctuated by sudden noises, keeping the narrator on high alert for both paranormal and wildlife dangers. Despite the growing fear, the narrator presses on, determined to document their experience. After several hours of hiking, they return to their campsite, exhausted from the physical exertion and the emotional toll of the eerie hike. Once back at camp, they set up a night vision camera in the hopes of capturing any paranormal activity while they sleep. The campsite is quieter now, but distant voices and occasional sounds from the surrounding nature keep the atmosphere tense. The following morning, the narrator embarks on another climb to reach the famous Balanced Rock. The daylight brings a sense of clarity and safety, and standing near the rock, the narrator takes in stunning footage of the surrounding landscape, which includes dramatic cliffs, lush forests, and the serene waters of Devil's Lake. This picturesque scene contrasts sharply with the eerie ambience of the previous night, offering a sense of relief and accomplishment. Grateful for the opportunity to explore such a unique and challenging location, the narrator reflects on the physical endurance required for the journey, as well as the supernatural intrigue that made the experience all the more unforgettable. This trip to Devil's Lake blends the excitement of outdoor adventure with the chilling exploration of the unknown. The combination of natural wonder, physical challenge, and paranormal mystery makes it a thrilling and spine-tingling experience, leaving viewers both captivated by the beauty of the location and intrigued by the strange forces that may lurk within it. The final footage from Vet Kullberg's YouTube channel showcases a suspenseful and adventurous story from an overnight camping trip in the Swedish Lapland. This video, posted more than 4 years ago on July 5th, 2020, features Vet and his loyal dog Riley as they set out for a serene outdoor escapade that quickly takes a dangerous turn. The journey begins with a sense of excitement and preparedness as Vet and Riley reach their chosen campsite at the top of a mountain. The tranquil atmosphere allows Vet to indulge in fishing, a calming activity that connects him to the natural environment. Catching fresh fish and preparing it over a campfire symbolizes the self-reliance and simplicity that defines wilderness living. For the first few hours, the trip unfolds without incident, but the peace is soon shattered when Vet notices something unusual in the distance. Through his observations, Vet spots a bear, majestic yet imposing, approaching their campsite. The realization that a bear is nearby shifts the tone of the adventure from peaceful to perilous. While bears in Swedish Lapland typically avoid human contact, their behavior can be unpredictable, especially if they feel threatened or curious. The bear's proximity grows increasingly concerning, and Vet becomes aware that it's not simply passing by, but rather heading toward their campsite.
Kom inte hit! Nej! Nej! Nej, kom inte hit! Nej! Nej! Kom inte hit! Kom inte hit! Nej, 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 nej! Nej, nej! Gå bort! Gå bort! Kom inte hit! Kom inte hit! Kom inte hit! Gå bort härifrån! Hör! Hör! Hör!
As the bear approaches, Vet's anxiety rises, and his attempts to control the situation become apparent. His repeated phrases convey a sense of urgency as he prepares for the worst. When the bear charges toward the campsite, the situation becomes critical. A charging bear is rare, but extremely dangerous, and it suggests the animal might feel threatened or view Ved and Riley as a potential danger. This moment is tense as survival instincts kick in, and the adventure transforms into a battle for safety. Ved reacts decisively. He raises his voice, making loud noises to signal that he is not prey, and begins picking up rocks to throw at the bear. The combination of these actions proves effective as the bear retreats into the trees, leaving Ved and Riley shaken but unharmed. The encounter serves as a stark reminder of the unpredictable nature of the wilderness. While nature can offer moments of beauty and serenity, it also holds the potential for danger, requiring respect, awareness, and quick thinking. After the bear retreats, Ved and Riley are left to process the close call. The danger was real, and the situation could have ended much worse if not for Ved's swift and decisive actions. The experience underscores the duality of the wild. It is both a place of peace and tranquility, but also one that demands caution and respect. This video is a compelling reminder of the unpredictable challenges that can arise in the wilderness, even during what starts as a peaceful adventure. Ved's survival instincts and quick thinking in the face of danger highlight the importance of being prepared for the unexpected in nature. The first footage of this video kicks off with a solo explorer revisiting a remote, wooded area. This is the uploader from the YouTube channel Sooner Sasquatch, and he starts by recounting a creepy experience he had about a week ago.
And it was about 300 yards that way. And I was trying out a replacement night vision that I got in. And I don't say it in the video, but something started walking towards me from my left, from off this way towards me. And you could hear the sticks breaking towards the end of the video, and it kind of freaked me out. I didn't say anything in the video, but I just shut the camera off and put everything up and left. I wasn't far from my vehicle.
So he was about 300 yards that way, testing out some replacement night vision gear he just got. He didn't mention it in the video, but as he was setting up, he started hearing footsteps and branches snapping coming from his left. It was enough to freak him out, even though nothing showed up on camera. He says he got so spooked that he just turned off the camera, packed up, and left. Thankfully, his car wasn't far. Now he's back at the same spot, but this time, the forest has even more unnerving surprises waiting for him. The video shows him moving carefully through the thick underbrush, narrating his thoughts as he goes. He talks about feeling like he's being watched, as if there's this invisible pressure on him with every step. The woods are dead quiet, except for the occasional snap of a branch or rustle of leaves. He spots trees shaking oddly, but there's no wind. It's like something or someone is nearby, staying just out of sight. Then the camera catches a black shape flickering between the trees, ramping up the tension.
Right back there were, those trees were kind of shaking. I thought it went back this way, but I could hear I could see the trees over here shaking. See, I'm still hearing something over here. And it's really cold. I keep seeing a black shape in there.
Right where those trees were shaking, he thought whatever it was might have gone that way, but then he spots more trees shaking nearby. He's still hearing strange sounds, and he's feeling really cold. The shape keeps flickering in and out of view. As he gets closer to investigate, he's visibly on edge, and the forest feels unnervingly silent. His footsteps echo louder than ever, and the trees creak in the stillness. He admits he wasn't planning to make a video. He's unarmed and alone as he follows a trail of trampled foliage. It's clear something large passed through recently, but there's no sign of wildlife. His flashlight highlights eerie gaps in the forest where he thinks the movement might have started. Then things take a turn He hears a crow and the tension builds. He does a slow pan with the camera, still nervously watching his surroundings. He spots more trampled areas and movement in the distance. As he points the camera, he hears something back there. He's all alone, unarmed and getting more anxious by the second. Suddenly, he picks up a faint growl coming from deeper in the woods. The sound is slow and guttural, sending chills down his spine.
There was a growl. I'm gonna do a real slow pan and then I'm getting out of here. I am freezing. Whatever it was got quiet. Right through there is where I think it went. You can see right in the middle of my screen is it's all open. You can see where stuff's been trampled, and I'm getting some movement back here where I'm pointing the camera right about now. I can hear it back there. I'm by myself and I'm not armed today.
Even though he's clearly on edge, he pushes forward but soon decides it's not worth it. When he reaches the spot where he last saw movement, everything's gone completely still. The trees are silent now, and it feels like whatever was there is just waiting for him to leave. In the end, fear and the freezing cold get the best of him. The video ends with him hastily leaving viewers with more questions than answers. What caused the movement? Was it an animal, a person, or something more mysterious? In this spine-chilling investigation documented by Dee's Dark Adventures, Dee explores a farmhouse property surrounded by a huge cornfield, responding to reports of strange and unsettling happenings. The family who owns the place has been experiencing bizarre events, including disembodied voices, strange movements in the field, and their usually calm dogs acting erratically. Hoping to uncover the source of these disturbances, Dee heads out on a nighttime exploration that quickly turns into a harrowing experience. The cornfield is vast and dense, with the stalks towering over her, creating a kind of maze. The air is unnervingly quiet, with only faint rustling breaking the stillness. The isolation of the place adds to the tension, and the darkness seems to press in from all sides. Armed only with a flashlight and her investigative gear, Dee steps cautiously into the field, knowing she's entering a place where the usual rules of safety might not apply. As Dee moves deeper into the field, the first signs of something strange begin to emerge.
Okay, something laid out a pile of corn here. I mean, I don't see deer carrying a bulk in their mouth and bringing it here. But it's a little bulk for what I'm trying to say it is, I guess. Ooh. Get one of my new lights. Check this out. The one's already turned on, dang. Hold on, sorry guys. Look at that. What was that? I'm hearing a howling. It's not those dogs. It's coming from that way. Those dogs can't go that far. They're on a restraint thingy. Okay.
She stumbles upon small piles of corn scattered on the ground, arranged oddly, like they've been placed there deliberately. Then she hears something that makes her pause.
Airplane.
It's the sound of dogs barking from a distance, but they can't get that far since they're on restraints. The field seems to hold its breath as she continues her investigation. The silence is broken by odd noises. First, it's just the rustling of leaves and distant twigs snapping, things that could easily be brushed off as the wind or wildlife. But as Dee goes further, the sounds get more deliberate, almost like they're following her. A high-pitched chirping starts echoing through the field, getting louder and circling her position, as if something is aware of her presence and watching her every move. The tension builds when Dee's flashlight catches fleeting glimpses of dark shapes moving between the stalks.
Oh my god! What I just saw, I don't know what I just fucking saw, dude. Screw that, screw that, screw that. What was that? Dude. What was that? I can't do this. No, I can't do this, guys. That dog. I hear whistling.
Each time she swings the light toward the movement, the shapes vanish, leaving only the sound of leaves rustling. As she continues, she finds signs of recent activity, patches of trampled corn indicating something large has passed through, leaving paths that lead deeper into the darkness.
Look, there's something was laying here. Something big. Was laying right there.
The noises intensify, and the chirping is joined by unsettling snaps, cracks, and rustles from multiple directions. The field feels alive, like the stalks themselves are hiding something. The sensation of being watched becomes overwhelming, and the weight of the unknown presses heavily on Dee's mind. The situation escalates to the point where the sounds become more frantic, and the movement among the stalks is undeniable. The tension shifts from manageable to pure, raw terror.
Deer droppings. Oh, I messed up my light, guys. Hang on. Hold on, I'm sorry. Technical difficulty. This dude, I'm done. I can't. No. No, 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 no.
Unable to make sense of anything, Dee decides to retreat. The cornfield, with its strange sounds and shadowy figures, remains a mystery, leaving her shaken and unsure about what she had just experienced. The next day, Dee reflects on the encounter, struggling to process what happened. The piles of corn, the eerie circling noises, and the fleeting shapes all point to something beyond the ordinary, but there is no clear explanation. The family's strange experiences remain unsolved, their accounts validated but not explained by Dee's own encounter. This investigation serves as a chilling reminder of the mysteries that lie just beyond the ordinary world, waiting in the shadows of the cornfield. Tucked deep in the dense forest of the Halifax region, there is a forgotten hunting cabin, its weathered exterior and remote location adding to its eerie vibe. For the creator of the Men's Life channel, this place has always been a source of fascination. On this trip, he returned during daylight hours, hoping to uncover the secrets of the unsettling cabin and answer the lingering questions from his previous visit. However, what started as a curious exploration quickly spiraled into a terrifying encounter, one that had him fleeing the forest in fear. The forest greeted him with an unnatural stillness, broken only by the occasional rustle of leaves. The air felt thick, and every footstep and soft crunch of twigs seemed to echo. As the cabin came into view, its ominous structure stood out against the tangled greenery. The antlers mounted on the roof gave the cabin a ritualistic appearance, as though it were meant to keep people away.
So there's the cabin that I was talking about. If you guys missed our main channel video, I will link it down below. But we straight up stumbled across this at nighttime. Makes me a little bit nervous because I really don't know whose it is or who has rights to it. Hello? Somebody in there? So sketch. There's antlers on the top. The hell? Someone definitely came recently. I remember a bunch more cans up there. As of right now, I feel like I'm being watched, like instantly.
Inside, things seemed out of place. Objects appeared to have been moved or rearranged, hinting that there had been recent activity around the cabin. Scattered car parts, tools, and debris told the story of a place once used but now abandoned to decay. The eerie feeling that someone or something had been there recently was impossible to ignore. As he moved deeper into the area, strange sounds began to pierce the stillness.
What is that sound? Listen, that's a bird, but I keep hearing like movement.
At first, it was just subtle rustlings in the underbrush and the occasional crack of a branch. But as he ventured further, the sounds grew louder and more deliberate. Thuds and snaps echoed through the trees, making it feel like he was surrounded. The trails leading away from the cabin were overgrown and difficult to navigate, but curiosity kept him moving forward. He spotted trampled foliage and signs of large movements, as if something or someone had passed through recently. The weight of the realization that he might not be alone in the forest began to settle in. Then came the whistle.
I don't see anybody. Oh shit! Oh. Oh shit. They just noticed me. They just noticed me. I don't know if they're coming. The whistle was clear and deliberate, cutting through the forest
with a sharpness that froze him in his tracks. It wasn't a bird or any natural sound. It was unmistakably human. The whistle had an unsettling tone, like it was meant to communicate or signal something hidden in the woods. The reality of the situation hit him hard. Panic set in as the whistle was followed by a sudden crash deeper in the forest, as though something was closing in. His instincts kicked in, and he quickly turned back toward the cabin, retracing his steps with a quickened pace. Every rustle and crack behind him felt like a chase, pushing him to move faster. The final stretch back to his vehicle was a blur of adrenaline, the oppressive atmosphere of the forest, the whistle, and the escalating sounds, making him feel completely vulnerable. By the time he reached his vehicle, his breath was ragged and his nerves were shot. Without a second thought, he left the area. The cabin and the surrounding forest quickly disappeared in his rearview mirror. In the aftermath, the whistle became the most haunting part of the experience. Was it a warning, a lure, or something far darker? The strange sounds, the unusual activity, and the cabin's unsettling presence all painted a picture of a place shrouded in mystery and unease. After the unnerving events at the isolated cabin, we head to Chile, where a house built on an ancient burial site hides secrets far deeper than anyone could have imagined. For a seasoned explorer Franco TV, venturing into eerie and mysterious locations is a regular part of his life. This time, his journey led him to a chilling site deep in Chile, a house rumored to be built with human remains. Situated on the grounds of an ancient Indian burial site, what began as an investigation into paranormal activity quickly spiraled into a night filled with inexplicable occurrences, animal dangers, and an unsettling encounter with strangers in the wilderness. The house itself stood ominously in a vast desolate field. According to local lore, the walls of the house were infused with human hair and bone fragments, a practice tied to ritualistic beliefs meant to protect the structure and imbue it with spiritual significance. As Franco explored the property, he immediately noticed the strange materials built into the walls. Large clumps of hair, some looking fresh, jutted out from the plaster.
That is human hair that they shove into the hole. I don't know why they did this. I don't know if it helps with the structure or to protect the house. It's probably for like a religious belief to help keep the house safe. And what better to use than the remains of your loved ones to make sure they get the job done. Look at that one right over here. That's a big gulp of hair. Just the thing is that looks like new hair. It doesn't even look old.
From the moment he entered, an eerie energy enveloped the space. Inside, the air was unnaturally cold, and Franco noted strange sounds coming from outside the house, rustling, thuds, and what seemed like distant movements in the surrounding wilderness. In this remote location where pumas roamed freely, every sound carried the potential threat of a dangerous predator. Armed only with a knife, Franco's nerves were clearly on edge as he documented the house with his night vision equipment. The unexplained activity began to escalate.
Am I safe out here? I feel like I want to do this video quick because I don't want to be out here too long. I'm nervous of animals. Oh, something just happened. One of my cameras just turned off. As you could hear it, and I'm getting a bunch of spikes. Right now the audio is probably going to sound different. My other night vision camera that's recording for audio just turned off. This is the audio for the GoPro night vision. I don't know what just happened to my other camera. It just completely just died on me. And I just started. What the was that? I just heard music outside.
His K2 meter, a device used to detect electromagnetic energy, began spiking erratically. At the same time, one of his night vision cameras malfunctioned and abruptly shut off, leaving him with limited recording options. Then he heard what sounded like music drifting in from the darkness outside. The situation grew more unsettling by the minute. The tension reached a breaking point when a car suddenly appeared at the edge of the property.
And as I was recording the camera, I just started seeing a light outside, and I ran outside to go see what it is, and a car had pulled up right to the front of here. Now the thing is, you could just think, oh, they're probably just there chilling. I'm in the middle of nowhere. There should be nobody here. This is like private land. There's nobody here. But a suspicious red car just pulled up to the front, stopped, looked into the entrance, went that way, and turned off their lights. There's no other way out from that other road. I've checked it. The thing is that they're still there. I don't want to leave because I have to return this car tomorrow. So I'm on my pretty much last night with this car. And this just happened. So now I'm kind of like panicking because I'm like, what do? I don't know what to do. I'm waiting for them to leave, but they just stopped the car up there. and I'm at a standstill right now. I put everything in the car as fast as I could. I only just took this camera out so that way you guys could see. I don't even want to have an inch of light on to let them know that I have equipment here. But 100% they know I'm here because they saw my flashlight when they first pulled in.
Franco was alarmed as he was in the middle of nowhere with no nearby roads or signs of civilization. The car stopped near the house, its headlights briefly illuminating the entrance before being turned off, leaving the area in complete darkness. Franco realized the strangers in the car had likely seen his flashlight earlier, confirming his presence. Fearing for his safety, he quickly packed up his equipment and retreated to his vehicle. Remaining inside with the lights off to avoid drawing attention, the car stayed parked near the house, its occupants obscured, and their intentions were unclear. Franco was left trapped in the remote area with no immediate escape. After what felt like an eternity, the car finally began to move. It circled the house once before slowly driving away into the darkness. Franco seized the opportunity to leave the area as quickly and quietly as possible. Reflecting on the encounter once safely away, he expressed his unease not only with the paranormal elements of the location, but also with a human presence that added an entirely new layer of danger. One still wonders what truly happened that night at the Indian burial house and what might still linger there in the darkness. Meet Del and David, two friends who love exploring eerie and mysterious spots for their YouTube channel, Signs and Signals. Their latest adventure took them to Lockhart, South Carolina, a small town steeped in history and ghostly tales. One of the most famous stories in the area is that of the Lady in White, a ghostly figure said to roam the town under the cover of darkness. With a mix of curiosity and caution, Del and David set off for an overnight investigation to get to the bottom of this chilling legend. It was October 30th, 2023, the night before Halloween. Adding to the uneasy vibe of the trip, they arrived in Lockhart late at night and immediately felt the town's strange atmosphere. The silence was thick and the faint sound of the nearby river only added to the tension. After getting a tip from a local friend, they headed toward a bridge that was rumored to be a hotspot for paranormal activity. But when they arrived, they found the area blocked off by fences and no trespassing signs. Not giving up, they decided to explore quieter, less populated spots. They eventually settled on a location that was known for frequent sightings of the Lady in White. Setting up a Ouija board, they hoped to make contact with the spirit and gather some evidence.
I do not feel good about this. This is sketchy as hell too, man. Somebody's gonna pull up and see this. Imagine somebody pulls up and just sees us doing this.
Now you can see it from the road if they looked, I think.
Oh God, are they turning?
No, these might.
Dude, this is so fucking sketch, bro.
We got it. Let's get over.
As they started their session, the stillness was interrupted by the occasional car passing by, which added to the unease. But things took a terrifying turn when a piercing scream cut through the silence.
Oh! Oh, oh, oh! Yo, hey! Y'all alright? Yo! Dude, somebody got hurt.
That sounded like a woman too.
Hey! I got goosebumps, dude.
Yo, are we really gonna go down here?
Hey! Are you okay?
There's no way we can even get to whoever it is.
Maybe like they were down there in the water. I don't know, dude. Are we supposed to call the cops or something?
I don't really know. I feel like yes, kinda.
Could that be like an animal though?
They say bobcats do
make like a screeching sound.
The scream was unmistakable, a woman's cry, distant yet chilling, echoing through the dark. Del and David weren't sure if it was an animal, like a bobcat or a person in trouble, so they decided to check it out. They followed the direction of the scream toward the riverbank. The further they went, the more unsettling the place felt. They called out into the darkness, but there was no response, just silence. Their flashlights cut through the dense woods and the water's edge, but they found no one. As they were about to give up and leave, something else happened. Through the rearview mirror of their car, Del noticed a white figure moving near their vehicle.
Dude, what? I swear to God, I just saw something go behind the car. Lock the door. What? Dude, turn your cam on. The backup cam. Turn on. Dude, I swear I saw something white for real. Oh, holy shit. Yep. Oh, what the Dude, is that just somebody out there? Dude.
Get out. Dude. Go.
What the is that, dude? Hey, who's out there? Who's out there?
Go. Turn my light. There he is.
Like, I can't tell, like, he was over here, right?
It's hard to tell from the backup camera. I think it was over here.
The trail right here. Man, it looked like it was over here. Hey! Anybody out there? Yeah, I'm telling you, bro.
They quickly checked the backup camera, and sure enough, a pale shape moved into darkness. They jumped out of the car, flashlights in hand, hoping to catch more evidence. The backup camera had shown the figure moving along a nearby trail, but when they got there, no one was around. The eerie silence returned, and the feeling of being watched was intense. After searching the area with no trace of the figure, they decided to call it a night. Reviewing the footage, they confirmed what they had seen, a mysterious white figure on camera. The combination of the woman's scream, the figure on the camera, and the creepy atmosphere left them shaken, questioning what they had just experienced. As they drove away, there was a mix of fear and excitement in their voices. The footage they captured, especially the figure, seemed to confirm the presence of the lady in white, adding another chapter to Lockhart's ghostly lore. For Del and David, this night was now etched in their memories as one of the most haunting encounters. Leslie Mansfield, an outdoor enthusiast, uploaded a video on February 2nd, 2025, sharing her experience of trying to camp alone in an unfamiliar spot. What started as a peaceful night under the stars quickly turned into a creepy encounter, forcing her to pack up and leave her campsite for safety. Leslie arrived at the site later than planned, with dusk already setting in. She parked her car in a remote area and made her way to her campsite, noticing a few signs about deceased trees being removed. The area seemed pretty deserted, except for the occasional wanderer who, like her, ignored the warning signs.
Bridleway diversion route. Well, I'm not on a horse, so am I allowed? Bridleway closed. We're felling the diseased and dying ash trees along this bridleway. Oh my goodness, I've only just come here once. I just need to just skirt around the edge of this. Great. That means I'll be all alone, except if other naughty people who are willing to go through tape come down here. Whew.
Despite the eerie quiet, she kept going, setting up camp in a secluded spot with a view of the valley below. At first, the solitude felt peaceful, but it quickly became unsettling. The nearest house was about 500 meters away, and the night sky was vast and empty above her. Then she noticed a figure walking through the valley below, their torchlight cutting through the darkness. Leslie turned off her own light, hoping to stay out of sight. At first, she thought the person was just passing by, but then they turned around and started heading toward her tent. That's when she realized she was completely exposed, and panic set in. Leslie made a quick decision. She grabbed just her phone, keys, and jacket and left her tent behind, seeking cover in the nearby trees.
Son. Don't know if you can see that, but there's somebody walking down the bottom of the valley there with a torch. I'm sure they're fine and innocent, but I've turned all my lights off until they've walked by. That person with the torch going along, I was about to set the camera up, and I was about to say, oh, I'm on a hilltop and I can see they're about to leave the valley, so that's good. But they didn't. They came back and sort of towards the tent, and I just thought, oh shit. The camera, in fact the camera is what I was worried about. First time I've used this, Insta360, my first ever camera. It's funny how I was packing that, wanting to make sure that was okay. And my hip belt I wear, so it's got my mobile and keys, so I just got my rucksack on and left the tent and hid down in the trees to make sure they went, because I also wanted to check what they were doing rather than just, me leaving. And eventually they left. I don't know, I was spooked by then. So I found a different spot I'll show you this spot, just about 10 minutes around the corner.
She waited, making sure the person was truly gone before she moved. After about 10 minutes, the figure finally left. Feeling spooked, she relocated to a different spot, just a short walk away, but far enough from her original campsite to feel safer. Settling into the new location, Leslie tried to calm down, watching the sky clear up and reveal Venus, Jupiter, and Mars in alignment. The view was breathtaking, and she took it as a sign to stay calm, but the discomfort of the whole experience lingered. The ground was bumpy and uneven, making it hard to get any rest, and the unease from the earlier incident stayed with her. Though she didn't want to give up and head back to her car, Leslie was still on edge. She stayed the night as planned, trying to stay focused and calm, but deep down, she couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't quite right.
What's to do? I'm 10 minutes away, but I feel safe because it's just a different tucked away corner. I'm just looking down on the ridgeway. I don't know, I didn't want to give up. I didn't want to go back to the car and give up. I know that everyone says, oh, follow your instincts and do that. When I saw this, I thought, no, I'm going to be here, at least for the evening. I think it's so rough and bumpy here, I'm not sure I can sleep. So I'm going to have dinner, practice with the camera, and see how I feel when it comes to bedtime. Okay, I'll get the food on. And Mars, which I've never really known about before, but Mars, it's so red. That's over in the east. So I feel safe and secure to stay now that I've seen those planets and had a little drinky. But I'm in an incredibly difficult pitch. It's completely lumpy and sideways. I just didn't want to go back to the car, so I was all stubborn, but it's awful.
Eventually, she decided to pack up and leave. The walk back to her car was filled with thoughts of what had happened. Was the figure just an innocent passerby, or had they purposely come back to check on her? The uncertainty of it all was the most unsettling part of the experience. On January 24th, 2023, Zach and Allie, a couple living the van life, found themselves in a nightmare they never saw coming. What started as another typical day on the road quickly turned into a fight for survival. With no solid shelter nearby and little time to react, the couple was forced to make a decision that could mean the difference between life and death. The day began with tornado watches being issued at 10:50 a.m., warning of severe storms in the area. Though Zach and Allie were aware of the warnings, meteorologists initially predicted that the worst of the storm would miss them, but as the hours went by, the forecast changed drastically. By 1 p.m., the warnings became urgent as a massive line of storms stretching over 80 miles was heading straight for them. As they watched the storm system grow stronger on their radar, the couple realized they were in the path of a confirmed dangerous tornado. The panic set in as they scrambled to figure out what to do.
The tornado watch remains in effect until 6 p.m. Central Standard Time for southwestern Louisiana and southeastern Texas.
Having a panic attack. You're just gonna follow me if something goes wrong, right? Yeah? Seriously, babe.
I'm gonna program this radio and put it on the NOAA weather, and then we can send it over to the neighbor's camper. That way he has one, because he doesn't have a weather radio.
Lawville where?
Oregon?
At 50 miles per hour.
Is that what he just said? I have no idea.
Orange.
Where's that at?
Here, we're in orange. We literally are in orange right now.
Yeah, but there's not a storm over us. Orange is also really wide. Yeah, it's like way left western.
Okay. Okay, hold on. It's getting smaller.
Yeah, that's...
Oh, it went above us.
That storm.
Their van, which was their home, offered no protection from the tornado, and vehicles in mobile homes are considered some of the most dangerous places to be during such an event. They briefly thought about leaving, but the tornado was moving fast, and the only road out led directly into the storm's path. They had only seconds to decide, stay in the van or take cover elsewhere. With little choice, they abandoned their van and sprinted to the nearest ditch, hoping it would provide some kind of shelter. Ditches, though not ideal, are often recommended as last resorts during tornadoes because because their low elevation can reduce the risk of being lifted by strong winds. As the tornado's sirens blared and the sky turned a sickly green, they huddled together, holding their dogs tight and shielding themselves from debris being hurled through the air. The wind was so strong it was a battle just to stay grounded, and the fear of being swept away was overwhelming. Then, just as quickly as it had come, the tornado passed. The deafening roar faded into an eerie silence. The couple cautiously lifted their heads, scanning the destruction around them. What they saw was devastating. Trees had been uprooted, power lines were down, and trailers and campers had been flipped and destroyed. Some vehicles had been tossed around like toys, while others were reduced to rubble. Miraculously, their van had survived, untouched, with not a scratch. They rushed back to check on their things, but quickly realized they weren't so lucky. A nearby mobile home had been completely destroyed, and one person had been killed. Several others had serious injuries. The hotel they'd briefly thought about seeking refuge in had taken a direct hit, confirming they made the right choice by staying put.
Yeah, I see that. Holy cow. It probably doesn't even look as bad on videos as it does in real life.
When all that stuff started hitting the window, I grabbed my bag. I said, I'm gonna get ready to dive.
I don't know where this piece came from.
Y'all good?
Yeah. Alright. Yeah, because it looked like it went right through that way. You hear them sirens?
I'm gonna have to clean up a bit in here. It's a bit, there's like debris everywhere in the van right this minute. I mean, I'm just happy we didn't like tip over and go crazy, because we could have tipped over. It could have been a lot worse, but there is debris all inside the van, and we still are under a tornado watch, so I'm like really shaky.
That's the worst of it though.
Oh.
Hey, do you see all that tin?
What the hell was that?
Tin. You see all that tin that's...
Though their van was intact, the reality of the destruction around them hit hard. There was debris everywhere, and the whole experience left them shaken. But it also reinforced the importance of being prepared and knowing where to seek shelter. Living life on the road had given them countless unforgettable experiences, but this was a powerful reminder of how unpredictable nature can be. If there's one thing they took away from this, it's that sometimes the difference between survival and disaster comes down to a single split-second decision. Lucas Brunel, an experienced cyclist and outdoor adventurer, set out on a bush camping trip to explore the remote wilderness of Martha's Vineyard. What started as a typical adventure, cycling, swimming, and camping, quickly turned into a terrifying experience when he stumbled upon something in the woods he wasn't meant to see.
This has been amazing, staying at my parents' and riding around Martha's Vineyard, and we're going to venture out because today is Kevin's last day here. See the cliffs and some paths and some cold water swimming on a very clean beach, cleanest on the East Coast probably, up at Aquina. And we're going to do some bush camping after that, and then in the morning we're going to do some rock diving at another beach. So anyway,
yeah, it's gonna be a cold ass night. I'm already kind of cold right now, but apparently tonight it's gonna be like 60 degrees or something, so yeah.
Cold, yeah, but we're used to those temperatures and camping and all kinds of weird stuff. So anyway, let the journey begin.
The day began like any other for Lucas and his friends. They spent the afternoon cycling along scenic coastal roads, swimming in crystal clear waters, and pushing their limits through rugged terrain. The plan was to check out the famous Gay Head Cliffs before heading deeper into the wilderness to set up camp for the night. By the time they reached the dense forest, the sun was already setting, leaving them with little time to find a good campsite. As they rode through the wooded trails, something felt off. It wasn't obvious at first, but looking back, Lucas would later say that the eerie quietness of the forest was the first sign that something wasn't right. They eventually found a secluded clearing on top of a hill, thinking it would offer a great view and some protection from the elements. The group started setting up tents, gathering firewood, and getting ready for what they thought would be a relaxing night in nature. But as Lucas wandered a bit further from the campsite, he stumbled upon something that sent a chill down his spine. Hidden among the trees was a strange ritual site. Symbols were carved into the dirt, and what looked like burnt offerings and bizarre objects were scattered around. At first, Lucas thought it was just a prank, maybe some leftover setup from other campers trying to scare people. But the closer he looked, the more disturbing it became. The symbols weren't random. They were arranged carefully, and some of the objects showed signs of recent activity. It was clear whoever had done this had been there not long ago.
Anyway, we can find some dry firewood. That would be kind of nice.
Yeah. Wonder what your parents must think of you doing all this crazy shit. Dude, you're with me. All right. I am not camping anymore. Dude, all right, dude. I know I said the satanic shit, but it's a joke. I'm not serious, man. Dude, I don't want to camp. I don't want to camp anymore.
As he stood there, trying to make sense of what he had found, a faint rustling sound broke the silence. It was in the wind. Something was moving through the trees. Lucas quickly scanned the dark woods, but he couldn't see anyone. Then he heard something even more unsettling, a low murmuring sound, almost like whispers, coming from deep in the forest.
Dude, all right, dude. I know I said the satanic shit, but it's a joke. I'm not serious, man. Dude, I don't want to camp. I don't want to camp anymore.
Yeah, but there's nothing we can camp.
Dude.
This doesn't have to, like, we can camp fine. There's nothing out here to get you.
Yeah, then what was that noise, huh?
Well, just take a look.
Dude, you need to calm your I know this is my last night.
How about I take it down a notch?
Dude.
And we enjoy the night, you know?
Yeah, enjoy the night with...
Hey. Hello?
Dude, Lucas. All right, yo, chill. You're joking, right? You're joking.
No, boys, just chill. Just take it down a notch. There's nothing out here, like, to get you. I mean,
you're a man.
His heart raced as he turned back toward the campsite, realizing he might not be alone. That was all it took. The group immediately packed up and made a run for it. There was no way they were staying near that ritual site for the night. As they hurried back to their bikes, they couldn't help but glance over their shoulders, half expecting to see someone or something following them. Once they were a safe distance away, they paused to catch their breath and process what had just happened. What had started as an exciting outdoor adventure had turned into one of the most unnerving experiences of their lives. Some viewers of Lucas's video believe they might have stumbled upon an actual occult gathering, while others think it was just an abandoned setup left behind by thrill seekers. Either way, it was an experience that left Lucas and his friends shaken, and one they'll never forget. The YouTube channel Travel Beans, known for its travel vlogs and adventurous road trips, shared a devastating moment that turned one of their dream trips into a nightmare. On March 3, 2024, Emma and Alex uploaded a video chronicling a horrifying experience they had during their highly anticipated road trip across the United States. The couple had recently purchased an old, charming camper van, which they lovingly named Frank. The van had a nostalgic 80s aesthetic and was meant to be their home on wheels for the foreseeable future. They were excited about the adventure ahead, preparing the van and making final adjustments before embarking on their journey. What was supposed to be a simple maintenance stop at a rest area quickly turned into one of the most terrifying experiences of their lives. While Emma was inside the camper van and Alex was standing outside, the unexpected happened. Smoke began rising from the vehicle. At first it was subtle, possibly from a minor mechanical issue, but within seconds the smoke thickened and turned black, an unmistakable sign that something was very wrong. Emma, still inside, had no idea how bad the situation was becoming. Alex immediately yelled for Emma to get out, and when she stepped outside, the full reality of the situation hit them. The van had caught fire, and the flames were spreading quickly. The old vehicle, which was filled with their belongings and months of carefully planned travel supplies, was rapidly turning into an unstoppable blaze. Alex, with his phone in hand, began recording the terrifying scene.
So at this point, I knew there was smoke, and I guess I just assumed it was coming from the engine and kind of making its way into the cab.
Yeah, so I was shouting at Emma to get out of the van instantly. That image of the van being on fire and Emma inside will probably stay in my mind for a very long time. It's something that keeps getting replayed. But this is when, so I had my phone on me, so started to record. So this is maybe 10 seconds after Emma got out of the van.
What have we got in there?
Battery in there.
This man was an absolute hero. He was just there trying his hardest to put this out with his fire extinguisher, and he was just kept trying and trying, probably for way longer than he should have done, putting himself in danger, really. Like, the amount of smoke, it was terrifying.
It then got to the point where he couldn't fight the fire anymore, and he just turned and ran. And at this point for us, we then did the same to try and find...
A bystander stepped up and heroically tried to help, using a fire extinguisher in a desperate attempt to control the flames. But despite his efforts, the fire proved too much, and he was forced to retreat. Alex and Emma followed suit, running to safety as the fire engulfed their home on wheels. The flame grew so quickly that within minutes, the van was beyond saving. Emergency services were called and bystanders offered their support, even providing rides to safety. When the firefighters arrived, they worked swiftly to control the flames, but the damage was already done. The van was reduced to a charred shell.
As soon as I felt that we were actually safe and far enough away from the van, I just was hit by this wave of emotion, and I just cried my eyes out.
And we're safe. We're safe.
Has anybody called 911?
No, we just ran out. Someone came with a fire extinguisher, and then
So this just happened?
Just happened. We were driving it 2 minutes ago.
Call 911.
Yeah, please. Thank you. Oh, God.
It was really surreal at that point, because up until that point, sort of, you know, especially when the guy was, you know, fighting the fire with that extinguisher and everything, you had this like sense of like, okay, what can we do? How can we fix this? But at that point, we just relinquished all sense of control over the situation. All we could do was just be spectators in this.
The fire department turned up extremely quickly within a few minutes of it going up.
They were amazing.
Yeah, so good, but unfortunately the fire was just so quick.
Once Emma and Alex were a safe distance away, the overwhelming emotions hit as they stood there watching their van burn. Emma broke down in tears, finally realizing the magnitude of what they had lost. They planned this road trip for months, and in the blink of an eye, it was all gone. Still, they acknowledged how fortunate they were to have gotten out in time. If Emma had stayed inside just a few moments longer, the outcome could have been far worse. The cause of the fire remains uncertain, but Alex and Emma suspect an electrical issue, possibly faulty wiring in the old van. Despite the heartbreaking loss, they were grateful for the kindness of strangers and the quick response of the emergency responders who helped them during their crisis. In the end, though their dream road trip had ended before it even began, Emma and Alex realized that they were safe, and that was the most important thing. They may have lost their home on wheels, but they were alive to tell the story. On July 28, 2021, the YouTube channel Exploring Intuition uploaded a chilling video chronicling their exploration of the TNT area near Point Pleasant, West Virginia. This area is infamous for its connection to the Mothman legend, a creature that has sparked numerous paranormal encounters over the years. Once a World War II ordnance factory, the site is now an overgrown wildlife preserve, filled with abandoned bunkers, thick forests, and a heavy unsettling silence. Led by the channel's creator, the explorers set out at night, hoping to document the strange occurrences that have been reported in the area for decades. From the moment they arrived, an overwhelming sense of unease took hold, as if they were being watched. The air was thick with the scent of stagnant water and decay, and the quiet of the forest was soon broken by a deep, mysterious roar coming from the distance, something they couldn't identify. As they moved deeper into the woods, they came across what appeared to be a large animal, possibly a deer or a bear, moving through the underbrush, but soon their attention was drawn to a series of strange events.
Mothman is a frog.
There's a frog right there, if you can see them, folks. Boy, you wouldn't starve to death if you was living out here, that's for sure. So this looks like it could be another entrance to a igloo, but I don't think. It's just part of a game trail that goes back there. Probably deer. It's something big. It's either a deer or a bear, so we'll just hope for deer. But a bit of it goes over on this side as well. Nah, we're good. We just saw some kind of a critter run across us up here, low to the ground.
Probably a skunk.
No, it wasn't a skunk. It looked like maybe, there it is right there. I'll tell you what, this is definitely a nature preserve because this place is alive. There's stuff moving around all around us. Okay, off to our right over here is where these office buildings. No, this is the trail that goes up towards the office buildings. Oh, that is a bunker. Wow. Boy, you just come right up on them. This one is accessible. So we're gonna check out our first bunker of the night. Yeah.
At one point, they came across a bunker, one of many scattered throughout the area. As they cautiously approached it, they heard movement nearby. Initially, they assumed it was just wildlife, perhaps a raccoon or deer, but then something much larger moved through the trees. The sound of branches snapping was followed by a sudden, eerie flapping noise, reminiscent of massive wings. The explorers immediately stopped and shined their flashlights into the trees, hoping to catch a glimpse of whatever was out there. The sound reminded them of past reports from those who claimed to have seen the Mothman, an otherworldly creature described as having red glowing eyes and enormous wings. As they continued deeper into the woods, they noticed strange lights flickering far off in the distance. At first they thought it might be fireflies or headlights, but the way the lights moved erratically and without a clear source left them puzzled.
Could have been lightning bugs, but we have our first eye shine. I saw it too, actually, so I do have to concur that, don't know that I could call them red or orange, but there were definitely something up there that looked like they lasted a little longer than your typical lighting bug.
Probably a deer.
Well, I hope it's a deer.
I do.
Well, I guess we'll find out. There's Peter Cottontail hopping down the bunny trail.
I'm seeing him out.
He is not afraid of us at all.
Well,
there he goes off into the woods. He probably didn't want to jump into those weeds up there.
Well, seeing him out like that means there's no predators out.
That is true.
They don't come out in the open like that when there's a predator out there.
Right there he is. It's Mothman, folks. He's coming right out of the bushes. What kind of noise does Mothman make? I mean, he has a parabiscus, or is that the right terminology? Proboscis?
Proboscis.
Proboscis. I don't know that Mothman can.
The geese from your goose poop.
No, that's not geese.
Rocks?
Those are rocks or some sort of. Those are lily pads, giant lily pads.
Holy crap!
Yeah, huge. What was that? Oh, I just totally saw something. I hope I got it on camera. That was not a lightning bug. I saw something fly up into the air right there, right in front of us. And it looked like a half crescent moon, about 20 feet off the ground.
They later experienced something even stranger, a disembodied voice that seemed to respond to their questions during an electronic voice phenomenon, EVP session. One of the voices even seemed to warn them to leave the area. But things took a darker turn when a low guttural howl rang out from the trees. It was unlike anything the explorers had ever heard, too deep for a coyote and too unnatural to be any known wildlife. The howl grew louder and closer, making it clear that whatever was out there was approaching them.
And obviously at night, they would be able to tell something coming from a long distance. And we've had some weird smells, but
believe what you will, but I just don't think thousands of people are lying or just mistaken bears. Yeah. I gotta turn my camera on, Mary, that thing.
There it is, there it is.
There it is. Holy cow, that thing is following us as we leave. It's right there, folks. I mean, that thing we've been seeing the whole time is shadowing us 50 yards away from us. And we said when we left that, what if it followed us out? And it is totally following us out. I mean, what kind of animal does that?
Predator.
A predator would do that.
I don't see it.
Like a dog or something would have come up on us, barking or something like that. Whatever that is, definitely wants to stay. As soon as we turn our lights back on, it hides again. All right, let's just keep going. Every 50 yards or so, we'll turn and look behind us, but it's totally following us out. And there it is, it's following us out. Whatever, it's going side to side on the path.
At that point, feeling that they pushed their luck far enough, they decided to leave, but as they walked away from the area, they noticed something unsettling. Whatever had been lurking in the woods was following them. Every 50 yards or so, they would stop and shine their lights, only to find that something was always just behind them, keeping pace. Later, when they reviewed their footage, they were shocked to discover even more anomalies. Shadowy figures seemed to appear in the background, and unexplained noises that they hadn't heard in real time were caught on camera. The TNT area near Point Pleasant is a well-known hotspot for paranormal activity, with reports ranging from Mothman sightings to ghostly encounters. Whether what the explorers' experience was truly paranormal or just the result of overactive imaginations, one thing was certain: they would never forget that eerie night in the woods. Uploaded just a few weeks ago in February, an outdoor enthusiast set out for a solo camping trip, hoping for a peaceful night away from civilization. With his bivvy tent set up and his gear neatly organized, he settled in for what he thought would be a calm, solitary evening in nature. However, as night fell, things took an unexpected turn. The camper started his night by cooking a simple meal, bacon and eggs, over his small camping stove. The scent of the sizzling food filled the air, and the peace of the wild seemed comforting.
Hear that? That was an owl. Hopefully we're going to hear some owls tonight. That was cool. Wonder where it is.
Don't know why I didn't spot this before. There was a little tree stump I should have used, and I'm using that now. And it's actually balancing a lot better with it being on top of the tree stump, so I'm using it here now. So that's sizzling away now. So this is cooking quite well, to be fair. It's browning up a little bit. Smells good. Almost there with this one. So it is almost there, but I should have brought some extra fuel, I think, for next time, because it is almost running out, so not doing too good. Look at this. So this is my food tonight. It doesn't look very appetizing. It's just scrambled egg and bacon.
As he cooked, he mentioned hearing an owl in the distance, enjoying the quiet and isolation of the woods. The evening seemed to pass without issue, and he enjoyed his meal, though he noted that it wasn't the most appetizing. Still, he was content with the solitude. After finishing his meal, he decided to test just how dark the forest truly was. Armed with only a lantern, he took a short walk around his campsite. The light cast eerie shadows on the tall tree silhouettes, making the woods seem even more mysterious. Although the experience was unsettling, he reassured himself that it was just the quiet in nature. Eventually, he crawled into his bivvy tent, zipped it up tightly, and tried to settle in for the night. For a while, everything seemed normal. The forest was still, and the silence felt safe. But that sense of security didn't last long. Suddenly, a bright light shone through the fabric of his tent, and voices echoed through the trees. A group of young men had wandered into the area, their flashlights scanning the surroundings, including his tent. The camper lay still, trying to assess the situation. The group wasn't aggressive, but their presence was unsettling. He overheard them talking, and they seemed unaware of the camper's presence at first. They stopped near an old circular brick structure not far from his tent, and after a few moments, one of the men apologized, likely realizing they had disturbed someone. As quickly as they arrived, they left, their voices fading into the night.
Turn around, there's somebody sleeping in the tent behind there. No, go to the tent, right there, bro. Go. Hello? God. I told you. Oh, come here, boys, together. Yeah, but I don't want the guy to feel threatened at all, do you know what I mean? Yeah, leave him to it, mate, let's go. He's got a body cut, look, he's got a trail from there, man. What do you mean, a trail from? Look on the tree, that's a you're right. Oh, sorry, mate. We just stumbled across you, mate, hi, man. No, it's alright, no worries. You're doing okay, though? Tell you what, if you go down that way, there's like a bit of a ditch. Is there? Yeah, like a bit of a crater. Just keep going.
Though the group had gone, the encounter left him feeling uneasy. His once safe campsite now felt exposed, and he lay awake for hours, listening for any signs of movement. The situation was made worse by condensation forming inside his bivy tent. Water droplets gathered on the ceiling and occasionally dripped onto his sleeping bag, making it difficult to get comfortable. The dampness combined with the lingering unease from the earlier encounter kept him from sleeping at all. By morning, the tension had faded, replaced by the peaceful sounds of chirping birds and rustling leaves.
It's a small amount of space. Water can gather because of condensation, and I had that issue last night. And with it being a trespass tent as well, I've read reviews online, and apparently it's really bad for getting like loads of condensation on top of the walls and on the sides of the tent, so on the ceiling of the tent. So it's not the best tent, I'd say. I mean, and I just get soaked. I can already feel it now, like on my hands, just like water, like condensation. It's not good. It's quite an uncomfortable feeling, to be fair. But what a beautiful morning it is. Got the birds chirping. I could hear owls last night. I saw an owl last night, which was really cool. That was awesome. And also, to be honest, the lads were fine. They were very apologetic when they came through, and I don't think they had any bad intentions, and they were sorry that they disturbed me. So I don't think they were bad people. I think they were just trying to find somewhere fun. They're probably young lads in their early 20s, just trying to have a bit of fun in the woods at 11 in the night. But yeah, we all have our hobbies, I guess.
Despite the discomfort, the camper tried to focus on the beauty of the morning. As he got up and reflected on the night, he admitted that the young men likely had no ill intentions. They were probably just thrill seekers, exploring the woods at night, unaware of the camper nearby. Their apology indicated that they didn't mean to disturb him, which reassured him that they weren't a threat. Still, the fear of the unknown, of not knowing who they were or what they were doing, had made the experience far more unsettling than it needed to be. If the group had been less friendly, the situation could have been far more dangerous. Despite this, the camper didn't let the experience ruin his love for solo camping. In fact, he was eager to camp alone again, but next time, he'd be more prepared for the unexpected. A YouTuber named Outdoors with Eric patrols his property at night, convinced there is a mysterious creature lurking in the woods. It's definitely a creepy spot, but Eric is determined to catch whatever it is on camera. Despite his fear, he pushes forward, determined to gather evidence. At 1 minute and 43 seconds into the video, he hears terrifying noises echoing from the woods. It's hard to say what kind of creature would be out there, screaming in the middle of the night. What do you think it could be? He keeps walking for about another minute until the eerie sounds get louder and closer, stopping him in his tracks.
Man, you guys hear that?
He zooms in with his night vision camera, and at first you can barely make out a shape, but once he adjusts the settings, it becomes clearer there are two creatures across the stream moving closer.
That is bizarre. They're coming closer. Analytics. Yeah.
He spots two glowing dots in the distance, which he believes mark the location of these nighttime screamers. There's no doubt the sounds and creatures are real, but the big question remains, what exactly are they? A YouTuber sets out on a solo camping adventure in a dense forest. What starts off as a peaceful night sky quickly spirals into a spine-chilling ordeal. It's late and the forest is eerily silent as the YouTuber films from inside his campsite, reflecting on the tranquility in nature. But out of nowhere, a creepy knock echoes against the RV, snapping him out of his thoughts. He freezes, startled by the unexpected sound. And then things get even weirder. He hears slow footsteps approaching, as if someone is creeping up to peer into the windows. The unsettling feeling of being watched intensifies, and before long, the scariest moment unfolds. The mysterious knocker returns, this time dragging their knuckles slowly down the door with a menacing, deliberate determination. It's as if whoever or whatever is outside isn't planning to leave anytime soon.
They're not mine. Son, look at me, man. Look at me. All right? I'm being honest as I can be. Look at me. I ain't got no damn reason. I know you said jail. Please don't do this.
That's a good reason.
I understand that, but look at me.
In Lakeland, Florida, what seems like a simple camping setup quickly turned into a police bust. The incident started when an officer was out on routine patrol and noticed two people camping in what looked like an ordinary tent. Thinking it was just a couple of folks out for a night under the stars, the officer approached to check on them, but things took a turn when the officer decided to inspect the tent more closely.
What's your name?
Chris. Yes, sir.
Step out here for me.
Yes, sir.
Inside the tent, instead of the usual camping gear, there were drugs and paraphernalia scattered around. What started as a casual inquiry became a full-blown bust.
Shit.
Ooh. Have a seat. You want to go over with him? Sit down.
Can I get a cigarette? He knows me.
Sit down.
Yes, sir. Man, you know me. Can I sit on the bench or something?
Sit down.
All right. Well, there's the fire.
The campers were immediately detained, and the situation escalated into a drug investigation. Body cam footage captured the entire moment, showing the officer's surprise and the tension as the truth came to light. The two suspects, clearly caught off guard, were arrested on the spot and taken into custody.
You start reaching around when I look at you through the window.
I reached around, sir.
I don't know what you're reaching for.
I understand. I'm not mad at you. I understand, man. I mean, you whipped that damn curtain open, and I was like, oh.
I got you, man.
Can I light a cigarette, please, sir?
You got a lighter and a cigarette in your pocket?
What's up with it?
Hey, there's nothing crazy or illegal in here, is there?
Man, listen, like I said, he knows me, man. I'm gonna tell you if there's something. Am I honest?
Sometimes I think.
Sometimes it's bullshit.
You came to the house on Watson? Where?
The dogs, there's like shit on the yard. It's a CO2 BB gun that I got you, bro.
Yeah. I got you. Put your hands behind your back, man.
For what?
We'll talk about it.
What am I?
That big old bag of needles and...
That big old bag of needles is from out here, man. He'll tell you I don't...
Right, dude.
Do that, bro.
All right, we'll talk about it.
You have a president with me. You can decide at any time next time, guys. Ask any question you need. Understand? Yeah, man. If you want to talk about whatever the needles.
Is that what you quickly tossed when I was walking around the corner?
No, sir. I was
that was where you were reaching into.
I'll be honest with you, bro. I don't got no reason to lie to you, bro. Or sir, I'm sorry. Look, I turned around and look, I'm not moving or running. I was down picking my fingernail.
Mm-hmm.
You said, leg on PD. I turned around. That's what I turned around quick for. I had them needles right there. You can ask my girl to throw away. I've cleaned up all this shit. Look, man. I'm being honest with you, bro. Please don't do this to me, man. I start work on Monday, bro. Please.
Okay.
Please, buddy. I'm writing a court date or something, man. They're not mine. I'm not going to own up to something that ain't mine. Kevin's been dirt all over the car. Come on, bud. Please.
Do you have anything to say about it?
What did I do? Found him out here. He was out here cleaning
Just cleaning up used needles? Just trying to get rid of all the used needles?
The blood is in them, man.
No, I got you. Put your hands behind your back. Okay, look. You're telling me you found all those needles out here, plus that fresh, listen, plus that fresh, empty bag of what appears to be methamphetamine.
Sir, I found all
You don't know nothing about those needles, but you got a new bag, well, not new, about half empty. Or wait, I'm sorry, this is a new bag. A new bag of needles at your feet. So what's up with that? Are they your needles or not?
Those are mine. I keep
But those ain't.
Those are not mine.
No?
No.
Am I going to find anything else in there?
I give them to my...
Am I going to find anything else in there? In your area?
No, I'm telling you, those are not mine. Those I give them.
There it is. There's an empty bag on your side, Amanda.
On my side.
On your side.
That's your higher authority. It's a CO2.
Oh, I know what it is. I already checked. But,
listen, these raccoons.
But damn, bro, you about one wrong move from a bad day pulling this on the wrong.
I told you about that.
I know you told me.
Oh, okay.
But I mean that looks about as real as it.
Yeah, I said the same thing. I can't buy a gun out here.
You convicted?
Yeah. Hell yeah. Tell them, man. What? That the needles and stuff is yours, man. You're not gonna tell them it's mine. You tell them it's yours.
Later, during questioning at the police station, the investigation revealed that the duo had been using the tent as a cover for their drug activities. What seemed like a peaceful camping trip in the heart of Lakeland's quiet spots turned into a legal nightmare for the two individuals. Now, instead of enjoying the outdoors, they are facing serious charges for drug possession and paraphernalia. A stark reminder that you never know what's really going on behind closed tents. Imagine spending a night alone in the woods with a storm raging outside. That's exactly what this solo camper in Berry Ditch, Shropshire, experienced, and it's chilling.
Somebody just pulled up right next to the car. It's called midnight.
Arriving in the dark woods, the camper sets up inside his car as night falls. Almost immediately, eerie noises and strange shadows start closing in around him, making the setting even more unsettling. As the storm picks up, with rain pounding and the wind howling, the camper's anxiety grows. His car heater is barely working, and every noise outside puts him more on edge. Thunder rumbles in the distance and lightning flashes through the trees, making the safety of the car feel less and less secure.
Oh my God.
The camper is left wondering how long his fragile shelter will hold up against the fury of the storm and the mysterious sounds outside. As the police geared up to investigate a call, they were tipped off about a couple of people camping in an unusual spot right outside a house, practically on the front yard and along the street. Locals had noticed the scene and couldn't help but watch the strange setup. The campers seemed to be having a good time, completely unaware of the attention they were drawing. The catch? This wasn't just any front yard. It belonged to the city attorney. Talk about picking the wrong place to set up camp.
Hello. Is there somebody who's in charge of the tent? Pardon? Is there somebody who's in charge who owns that tent? Is it yours?
It's not mine.
No? Is it one of yours? Is that your tent, sir? Is it yours? Is anybody claiming ownership of this tent?
I'm the police liaison.
When the officers arrived, it was clear things were about to get interesting. The campers, relaxed and seemingly oblivious to the trouble brewing, were confronted by the police. They were quickly informed that you can't just pitch a tent in someone's yard, let alone in front of a city official's house.
So here's the thing. The property owner doesn't want them on their property, okay?
Okay.
So now there's officially a trespass notice. I'll talk to you because you say that you're the liaison to them. If you could tell them, they can just move right over to this piece of grass right here. That's public property, okay? But the property owner of this particular address no longer wants them on their property, all right?
Hi, we want you guys to move to the other side of the grass.
Can you tell them that they are subject to arrest if they don't?
It's not a request, it's an order. They have to go over there.
So they're
and
saying
leave.
that it's in order and
Or they're going to be placed under arrest.
The property owner does not want them on their property.
they're saying that you will be lit because they are saying that the property owner is saying that they do not want for you guys to be
On their property. You can, we have
their property.
We have no problem with you guys protesting, but this is currently private property that you reside on, okay? So you have to move somewhere that's public, all right? Because the property owner does not want you on their property. You are subject to arrest if you don't comply, all right? That's it. You guys can just move right over that piece of grass over there. It's public property. It's a public park, and you're legally allowed to be there until 11 p.m. Okay?
Some time to start getting up and everything.
Well, they're not moving. That's the problem. So they're just completely ignoring our commands. So they're not complying. So they need to start getting up, getting their stuff, and going over to a different side, going over to the public property over there. Okay?
Start. Like I said before, I'm the police liaison. So anything that you want to tell them, tell me, and I will tell them.
And we have. We've already explained it to you, and they're not listening to you, is what I'm saying.
So like I said before, if there is anything that you want to tell them, you can talk to me, and I will say it to them.
Okay.
So is there anything that you want to tell them right now for me to tell
They need to leave or they're going to be placed under arrest.
Hi. Are you guys going to
23 as student copy. We're getting a 10-8 at 11-17.
Are you guys going to comply?
They didn't answer you. They did not answer you. So what are they going to do then? Here's the deal. This is your last warning, final warning. You must get up, you must start vacating the property, or you're going to be placed under arrest.
So, like I said before, because I am the police liaison.
Okay, well, they're not listening to you. I need you to stand over there. This is going to you too, okay? This is private property. You have to leave. I need you to stand over there for me.
You didn't stand up. Come on up.
Place your hands together for me, buddy.
Despite the fun they were having on their own, the law is the law. What started as an innocent-looking camping trip turned into a legal confrontation, with the officer stepping in to remind them that the city streets and front lawns aren't exactly prime real estate for camping. It was a pretty bold move that quickly backfired, and the campers found themselves backing up and possibly facing some unexpected consequences. Deep in the wilderness, a solo camper was relaxing by the fire when a sudden, sharp sound pierced the quiet night. One moment everything was calm, and the next, the peacefulness was shattered. The camper immediately snapped to attention, eyes scanning the darkness as a mysterious crack echoed through the trees.
Yeah, chilling by the fire, and we heard a crack in the forest.
Oh, there's a bird there.
Grabbing his flashlight, he cautiously ventured into the night, both intrigued and uneasy, determined to find the source of the noise. As he swept the beam of light across the forest floor, something unsettling came into view. Scattered personal belongings left behind like someone had been there recently.
So guys, we went out to go and investigate the strange noises that we were hearing. And this is what we found at the bottom of the property. The
discovery only deepened the mystery, leaving him wondering who or what had been in the area before him. Number 2. If you're playing hide and seek in the woods, you might end up being sought by something far more sinister. Published by RexyBoy34 in September 2009, this video captures a group of friends goofing around in the woods when they suddenly realize they're not alone. The cameraman is casually filming the eerie woods, which look particularly unsettling in the fading afternoon light. As the camera pans toward his 3 friends, something strange happens. Someone or something is creeping up behind them.
What the was that? Behind you. I'm being serious, there was something there. There was. I'm not.
Over one of their shoulders, a dark figure appears for just a second before vanishing behind a distant tree. The group turns around, thinking he's joking, but the cameraman isn't kidding. He saw it too, and so do we. They all stare at the tree in silence for a moment, and then the figure reappears, striding toward them. Chaos breaks out as the group erupts in screams and confusion. The big question remains, what is this figure after, and why is it stalking them in the woods? Thanks for watching. Stay vigilant, friends.